y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today, as y'all can see by the title, I am doing my labor and delivery story. I feel like I need to do this because my labor and delivery vlog did not go how I wanted it to. I didn't get to really explain each step of my labor like I did with my previous pregnancy. It just didn't, I didn't like it. I feel like I need to tell y'all the story on, you know, what led up to him coming into the world. I do have him here with me because I think he can sense when I'm not in the same room with him. So yeah, he does not like to be laid out by himself when I'm not. He just doesn't like it. So I'm gonna hold him, and I'm quite sure he's gonna wake up pretty soon because it's time for him to eat in a little while. Yeah, I'm gonna go right ahead and get on into the story. So as y'all know, throughout my pregnancy updates, I always say, you know, I wanted to try for a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after cesarean. My first one was a C-section, and it was because my they call it a failure to descend, and I guess my pelvic bone or pelvis was too narrow, I don't know. And yeah, I didn't progress past 6.5 centimeters, and then my daughter began to be in distress, so we had to go ahead and do the emergency C-section. And that experience was very rough for me, and I did not want another one. But I think it was at my 37-week appointment, or 36 or 37 week appointment. She did this, my doctor did a calculator, basically trying to figure out percentage of being able to deliver vaginally successfully. So we did that, and my percentage was like, it was like, yeah, I think it was very low. I don't remember the exact number, but it was very low. It was very low. So I was like hesitant to do it, but I told her if my body went into labor naturally, I would go ahead and do the vaginal birth or try it. So a week before I was set to go in with him, I was set to have him on April 6th at like 7:30 a.m. Literally a week beforehand, exactly a week beforehand. It was Leclerc had to go to work. It was like a Thursday, I believe, and I began to contract. Like, it was like, I don't know, I have a high pain tolerance level, so I thought it was nothing. I called my mom, and she was like, you need to probably call the nurse line or whatever, because I did have like a bit of fluid come out, like a tiny bit, y'all. I took a nap, I got up, and on my way to the bathroom, like a little gush came out, and I stopped. I'm like, oh, is this my water? But then it didn't keep going. Like, it was just that little trickle, and that was it. So I called her and I told her about it, and then after that, y'all, I started contracting like consistently. Like, it went from like every 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes, hour passed, and they was coming like, whew, it was like 5 minutes or less apart. It got to a point where it was 2 to 3 minutes. So we decided to go get something to eat. I said, if I was going to be going into labor, I needed to eat beforehand because I knew I wasn't going to be able to eat. So we drive to BW3's, which is 30 to 40 minutes away from the hospital. We get on the way to BW3's, it was like 10 minutes away from the restaurant. I started contracting every 2 to 3 minutes apart. I couldn't sit still. It was very, very painful. I told Claire, I said, I don't know, like, I don't know what's going on. It felt like I had to use the bathroom really, really bad. And we was in the car, so it was the most uncomfortable position for me. So I told him to, like, you know, let's hurry up and get there. We'll order, and then we'll have to leave right away. So we ordered, and I had to stay in the bathroom the whole time. Y'all, I was just rocking, praying like, oh, I do not want to have this baby in the bathroom. So our food came out, and I called the nurse line and told them to come in right away. Because they was like, we know this is not your first pregnancy and you know what contractions and labor feels like. I said yes. So I went in, and I contracted, y'all, for like literally 6 hours straight, and they would not, my cervix did not progress at all. I remained, I think, barely open, and they would not take me back for the C-section because I don't know why they wouldn't. I was only a week early, but yeah, so they gave me medicine to stop, you know, my labor, but I would not, my cervix would not dilate at all. Even with all those really, really hard, painful contractions, I would not dilate. Fast forward, April 6th comes around. Early that morning, I would say around like 4 a.m. I started to contract, y'all. Again, I'm like, really, on the day I go in for my C-section? And I told LeClaire, so that morning I planned on, you know, vlogging on the way to the hospital, doing a little happy pull up to the hospital vlog. It did not happen, y'all. I was in pain. I was ready to get there and figure out what was going on. It was like the contractions I had the previous week. So we get in there. Now, mind y'all, I don't know if y'all remember me talking about in my pregnancy updates, my swelling. I think I have some pictures I'll put on the screen here, but my swelling was so bad. I mean, y'all, to the point where I could hardly stand majority of the time. My legs were so big. My feet were gigantic. Like, gigantic. And my mom was always worried. She said, they don't say anything about your feet when you go. Don't say anything about your face, nothing. I said, no, they don't say anything. My blood pressure is always normal, so they say it's okay. Get into the room, I get changed or whatever. We get our room right away. So by this time it was like 7:30. So I've been contracting since like 5 a.m. consistently. So I didn't call because I was already due to come into the hospital. So I get in the room, I got changed right away. And then I got hooked up to the monitor. I'm always worried about the IV because every time I go in, it's hard for them to find a vein for me. But I got my IV right away and they found it right away. That was good. And they got me hooked up to the baby monitor, the contraction monitor, and my blood pressure cuff. So they did see that I was contracting right away. I did want to wait until my doctor came in to check me because, I don't know, she knows how to do it gently. I think that's like the most painful thing ever, getting your cervix checked. So most likely because I don't really be open like that. But yeah, so I waited till my doctor came in for her to check me. But my contractions, I think, were like 2 minutes apart at that time. And they got me hooked up to the blood pressure cuff. And my blood pressure, y'all, I don't remember the number, but it was like a unbelievably high number. So I don't know if y'all remember in the vlog, LeClaire was like, he thought it was high because I was moving around because I'm normally normal. No. They was checking my blood pressure every 10 minutes, I think. And it was consistently extremely high. I mean, they thought I was about to have a stroke. That's how high it was. It was so scary because the way they were making it seem, yeah, they said that I could, you know, have a seizure, have a stroke, and the only thing that was going to stop it was for me to deliver the baby. So fast forward, they did some blood tests and I ended up having preeclampsia. So my C-section was set to, I think it was 8 or 9. We were supposed to arrive there at 8:30, so I think it was like 9:30 for my C-section. It was like some emergency C-sections and births that pushed my C-section back. So the whole time I'm sitting there contracting, blood pressure high through the roof. I don't know what's about to happen to me. I was so scared. That's why I didn't really vlog like that. That's why LeClaire didn't vlog like that. I just didn't know what was going on because I never had high blood pressure before. I just know I was tired, I was in pain, and I was ready to have him. So fast forward, my doctor comes in, and by this time they had got the blood test back, and that's how I found out I had preeclampsia. They put these like cushions on each side of my hospital bed because they was like, oh, you know, may have a seizure or possibly a stroke, so we need to be able to protect you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just too much for me. So they put those on each side of my bed. I have a picture of what I'm talking about. And then they told me they were going to get me started on some medicine that was going to make me extremely hot. So they asked me if I wanted water, ice packs, and a whole bunch of stuff. They said that I want to turn the heat down in the room, turn air on. It was crazy. So I'm like, I should be fine. So I get this medicine, which was what was it? Magnesium. So that was the medicine that they were getting me started on. So in addition to the magnesium, because I was still contracting, they was giving me some pain medicine through the IV. So they started this magnesium, y'all, and I had to be on it the entire time. Plus, I think for 24 hours from the time I started to like the next 24 hours. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I felt like I was on fire. I had never ever been so hot in my life. I'm like, this probably what hell feels like, because I was so hot. I mean, sweating. It literally felt like somebody was like lighting fire like all around me. I got ice packs. I couldn't have any cover on me. I was so hot. Like, I can't even put into words how hot I was. And I couldn't have anything to drink, couldn't have water, nothing, y'all. So it was absolutely horrible, and I had to be on there for 24 hours. So I had to do it though, because I was at risk of a whole bunch of medical complications if I didn't. So they got me started on that, but my blood pressure still wasn't dropping. I also got my cervix checked, and I hadn't dilated at all. So even with all those contractions consistently, I was not dilating, wasn't even opening. I think she said I was like a fingertip, and that was it. And mind you, by this time hours had passed, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to, you know, continue with the C-section. And she said the earliest that I would probably be able to go back was like 11 o'clock a.m. So yeah, fast forward, I'm still in this magnesium. I couldn't sleep, I didn't get any rest, nothing. The pain medicine, as far as for the contractions, that was helping a bit. But yeah, I could not sleep and just had to wait around and sweat until it was time for me to go back for my C-section. So time rolls around, and it was time for me to go back. So Leclerc got suited up, and I'm just hanging off the bed, trying to breathe. They didn't want me moving a lot, because it was something I couldn't move a whole lot. I had to stay still, and a bunch of restrictions. I could not get up and walk around the room. I couldn't do anything. So I was just bored and hot. So Leclerc gets his stuff on. I was already ready. I think I just had to put on a, you know, what do you call those? Surgical bonnets. I had to put that on, and we went back to the room. If you had a C-section before, you know that your partner cannot be in there during the beginning when they're getting you prepped. And I hate that part, because I always want somebody with me just in case something go wrong. Somebody can see something I don't see. I'm not trusting at all. I just don't trust easily. But I had a magnificent nurse. I loved her. Like, my very first nurse that did the surgery with me, I loved her. Go back to the room, the OR, and I get on the table. So my first C-section, I had already had the epidural, so I didn't really need a spinal block or anything like that. I just got on the table, and they did what they had to do. Yeah, this time I had to get a spinal block because I didn't have no epidural or anything yet. So I had to sit on the edge of the table, and right here, I cannot pronounce the word. The doctor that does you know, anesthesia and everything, he comes in, and I had met him beforehand. He was very nice, seemed like he knew what he was doing and everything. He told me his experience. I sit on the edge of the table, and the nurse, you know, tells me like, hunch over, and we're gonna do the spinal tap. So I'm like, okay, this is about to be a breeze. I already got an epidural before. I know how this feels. He does the little needle to numb me. Okay, got that done. Then he does the big thing to give the spinal. Y'all, I don't know. Mind you, prior to me, it was C-section after C-section. They had so many deliveries the day I came in. So I don't know if he was tired or what, but I'm just remaining as still as I can. And he was like, oh, you have great posture, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, thank you. And so I'm like, okay, it's not me. So he kept hitting my bone. Whatever bone is in my back, the bone right there, he kept hitting it. He could not get to where he needed to go. So my doctor was like in this little window prepping for the surgery, and I'm just looking like, help me, like somebody come help me.
And I'm not blinking if I'm like this. This is not a test, it's the real deal. Help me, nigga.
Cause it was so painful. Like, he was hitting something. I don't know why I feel like I'm finna cry, but it hurted so bad. Like, I just remember the pain right now. It was so painful, and it was just me in there. Like, nobody was in there but me. So then that's when my nurse, y'all, I'm such a crybaby. My nurse comes in, and she comes in front of me. She's like, do you want me to hold your hand? I said, yes, please. Like, yes, somebody help me. And it literally took him like 20, it had to been like 20, 25 minutes to get my spinal in. I got poked so many times in my back with big needles, and it was terrible. It was so terrible. Mind you, I'm still burning up because they still have me on magnesium because my blood pressure is extremely high. It was like 200 plus over something. So I'm sitting here scared that I'm finna have seizures and strokes, and then they couldn't get my spinal correct. I'm like, okay, am I gonna even be numb for the surgery? He was like, oh, do you feel this? And he was tapping me. I said, yes. Yes, I do. He said, oh, it should start working soon. I'm just like, Are you sure? Fast forward, I get on the table and Leclerc finally comes in, and I got a big mouth. I'm like, listen, this is just what happened to me, and I just need you to make sure everything's okay behind me. And I did, because I couldn't have anything to drink, but I was burning up. I was like sucking on ice cubes and then spitting them out. And once I got on the table, I started getting very, very nauseous. So I had to get some medicine for that. And then my oxygen, all that got hooked up. So fast forward, I didn't have any pain during this C-section. Like my last one, I felt a lot of pressure. This one, I did not feel any pressure. The C-section itself went great. My doctor is awesome. And he came out or whatever, and here's like when he first came out and how much he weighed and everything. He was 6 pounds 10 ounces. He was bigger than Stink, but he was shorter than her. So I thought that was interesting. And he was born at 39 weeks exactly. So I do know if I would probably had him the following week, he probably would have been like 7 pounds and something. So he came and was healthy, didn't have any issues. I got him right away, and they give you the baby right away and they take you back to your room. Y'all, I did deliver 1 week before all those shutdowns and hospital restrictions started. I was so lucky and blessed. I was able to have visitors and everything. The stuff started when I got discharged from the hospital, which is crazy. So yeah, I chose a good day to do my C-section. Well, I would have had to go in anyway because of the preeclampsia, but yeah, that's what happened. Now we back in the room, and I had the spinal, so they don't give you any pain medicine directly afterwards because of the spinal takes a while to wear off, but not mine. So whatever he did, how many times he messed up, my spinal wasn't done correctly. And after the C-section, I got back to the room, I felt all of the pain, everything. I felt right how you would feel after being cut open. And I had to call my mom in right away. I didn't know what to do. The nurse, and she was like, you feel everything. She said, this is not normal. This should not be happening. We have to get you something right away. So I called my mom. She came in, and I'm just like crying, like, listen, I feel everything. It hurts so bad. Like, I couldn't hold the baby. My mom had got him. He was crying because he wanted me. And his temperature, I found out his temperature was too low. So he had to do skin to skin with me for like the first, it was a long time, like probably the first full day of him being here. We did skin to skin. He had to stay on my chest the whole time. But yeah, I couldn't breastfeed. I couldn't do anything because I was in so much pain. So I finally got some pain medicine and things started to calm down. I got all my visitors in. Found out about his temperature issues. So like I said, we had to do skin to skin pretty much all the time while I was in the hospital. By our second day, his temperature started to regulate. But the breastfeeding was still extremely painful for me. I really, really wanted to breastfeed so bad. But we ended up switching to bottle. I did still attempt to pump, but I wasn't producing. I was producing milk on this boob, but not this one. So yeah, I just ultimately decided to stop because of that reason. And he wasn't, you know, eating, so I had to switch to formula, and he's been doing fine, gaining tons of weight. But yeah, he didn't have any other issues. We both, my blood pressure still was very high, but I felt like I had an irresponsible nurse my last day at the hospital. I stayed for 3 days. Oh well, I think it's 2 days 3 nights or something like that. 3 days 2 nights, I don't know. But yeah, my last one, she wasn't coming and checking on me like that. I wasn't getting my medicine at the times I should have. Like, my blood pressure medicine was essential, and I got it like hours late. Like, she was not paying attention at all. Every time my mom or Leclerc would walk out, she was just sitting at the desk like doing nothing. So yeah, I had to report that nurse because it was dangerous for me to not have my medicine. I was ready to go home, and I just wanted to get healthy so I can go home. So I don't know what she put in her reports, but I was able to go home on the 3rd day. So I got home, but they told me I had to go to a checkup right away for myself, to make sure, you know, my blood pressure was being regulated by the medicine. I was still very, very swollen, extremely swollen. But they say, you know, that's expected. What else the nurse, you know, said. So I got home, went to his appointment. He was doing fine. I'll put like a little clip here of his appointment. And then I went to mine. At my appointment, they tested my blood pressure and it was extremely high. Extremely high. Mind you, I'm on the blood pressure medicine at this time. And the nurse steps out the room to call my doctor, and they say, you need to go to the hospital immediately. I'm like, I was so sad, y'all. I was so sad, because during this whole time my mom had Leia. I was seeing her like every day, but I'm used to having Leia around the clock, y'all. Y'all know I don't work. Leia does not go to daycare, so I have her 24/7. I'm not used to being away from her. And then I had this new baby, and I'm just like, I want to bond with him. I want him to get to know me outside of the womb, and I have to leave them. Like, I was so hurt. So hurt, y'all. I was so sad. Like, I can't describe how sad I was. To have a baby and then to know you have to leave your baby right away is just, it's horrible. I go and my mom gets me something to eat. So my mom gets me something to eat. She got me my favorite food to try to cheer me up. I ended up getting some Chinese food, and then Leclerc took me to the hospital. He had to call in to work because mom had to stay with the kids, so he had to take me and stay with me. So we got back to the hospital, and they like were apologizing so much because they said they shouldn't have discharged me. I'm like, well, I tried to explain that, you know, the nurse didn't really chart me the last day, and I honestly think she put numbers down that weren't my numbers. Unfortunately, you have certain nurses that don't do what they should, but all my other nurses were great. So I ended up with, I think, the first or second nurse that I had that I loved. That's who I ended up back with. So I got sent back to the labor and delivery unit, and I had to stay there until my blood pressure was regulated again. I think that was a day or two, and I was sad the whole entire time. They were checking my blood pressure literally every like 5 to 10 minutes. It was so annoying. And then they had me on a high dose of labetalol, something like that. But I ended up staying on that high dose for, I think it was like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, because I had postpartum preeclampsia at this point. And I just had to make sure to watch for certain signs and symptoms to make sure that, you know, I was okay. So yeah, that is the story of how he came into this world. I feel like my labor and deliveries are never, you know, by the book. They're never normal. I have to expect the unexpected, but I don't, you know, I don't plan on having any more kids. I love my two. I have my boy and my girl. But ultimately, we both ended up coming out healthy of this situation. I'm no longer on blood pressure medicine. I don't have any issues. My C-section incision has healed greatly. Yeah, everything is fine now. So that is how he came in. That is all that you did not get to see in the vlog, the labor and delivery vlog. If you haven't seen it, it'll be down below, so make sure you go watch it. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm gonna show y'all him really quick. Oh, how cute is he? He's tired. He milk wasted, y'all. He's getting so big. I don't know if y'all can remember from my last video, but he is getting so big now. But yeah, here he is. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the bell to get all my notifications. You won't be able to comment on this video, unfortunately, because of YouTube rules. But you can go over to my community tab on my channel, and you'll see the video screenshot. You can click there and comment and interact with me. I reply to all comments. And yeah, I will see you on my next video. Bye.